Page 59, Deck the Hall. I thought it was Deck the Halls. No, just one hall? Okay. We're in the key of G major for this section of the book. That is, there's one sharp in the key signature, which means all the F's in the piece, wherever they are automatically going to be played as F sharps. Because it's there. And they show you the scale and all that. Yeah, doing the scales, then you need to be doing the G major scale as you're going through this section. Yeah, once every day is enough. Don't spend a lot of time on scales, but it's important to do it day after day after day. Not that you're spending a lot of time each day on them, just a little bit of time, but day after day is important. But let's cover this one hand at a time, make sure we have the rhythm and the notes and all. Right hand is here to start. 1 and 2 and 3, and I'm assuming you can do dotted rhythms because I teach that in the method book, not in these books. The quarter note comes on beat 1, it gets 1 count. The dot comes on beat 2 because the quarter note gets a whole count, so the dot comes on beat 2, and the dot is worth half the value of the quarter note, which is an eighth note, or half a count. So then the eighth note comes on the and of 2. 1 and 2 and. 1 and 2, because the dot's on 2, and then and. 1 and 2 and. And then eighth notes 1 and 2 and. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Crossover for one note. That third measure. The quarter note's on beat 3. The dot is on beat 4 because the quarter note takes a whole beat. So the eighth note is on the and of 4. 4 and. 3 and 4 and. And they all work that way. Okay. Second line's the same. Let's go down to the third line. Now you can go here or here. If you don't want to be up in here, you can just reach down the second finger if you want, and then thumb. Here, and those are each whole notes for 4 counts, and then during the rest you come down 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and during the rest you go back up and do it again, and like you were at the beginning, except now you got to reach up with a little finger up here for the eighth notes, and you change hand positions. 3 and 4 and then cross over to get the last one, because we got to cover 6 notes with 5 fingers, and there's different ways of doing it. This is one way. We just cross over. Okay, so go over and make sure you get the right hand and understand it okay. And then the left hand, you have whole notes, a G and a D, you're here, and then a B and a D, and then the C. And then 1, 2, 3, and it's fun. Let's go down to the third line. Now the left hand gets the melody. Here, you're still in this position. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2, and then you get to rest for a while because you work too hard, and then you have a D at the end of the line, and you're back to this again. And then for measure 15, it's a 4 chord. Did we cover the chords, primary chords in G major? Probably not. The 5/7 chord one. They talk about the primary chords on page 58. You got them there. It's a 1 chord, do it in both hands. 4 chord, 5/7 chord, and they show them at the bottom of the page. Just, you need to know them. You're going to get them a lot anyway. And I cover the details of how they come about and how to figure them out in the method book. I think I probably explained it for C major already. It's the same approach. Put the hands together, you hear? And 2. And I'm connecting everything right now. Not too bad. Let's go down to the third line. You're here. Comes back up, and reach up, you go through and work out the hands together, and then go through and get rid of the hesitations, just a steady beat. Then we'll think about the articulation. the slurs and staccatos. The left hand connected as best you can. You do get an occasional staccato, and on the staccatos I'm hinging at the wrist. Boom. I'm on the key and I'm bouncing off. Boom. So the first line, the last two measures. Here, here, here. That's all that's for. No biggie, I hope. Let's go down to the third line. The last two measures, you're here. If you want to separate those, that's fine. In my opinion, you could connect them all. It's up to you, and that's again getting into interpretation. Which do you like better? And you can even connect it if you want to the next note. Here, to the F sharp. Here, we connected above. They showed the slur going over to that note. Here they don't. So if you want to separate them, that's what's written, separate them. For the purpose of this lesson, I'm going to go ahead and play it like it's written. I'm not going to reinterpret it. Separate, separate, here, yeah. On the third line, I don't understand why they're slurring it the way they're doing it, because if you read the words, the first two measures should be slurred together. All that goes together. In my opinion, you could slur that all together. They've got to... If you want to do that, I guess that's an interpretation again. I'll leave that up to you. I'll go ahead and play it pretty much like it's written, but if I were doing it for me, I would slur those two measures. Measures 9 and 10, I would slur those together. Dynamics apply to the melody. Mostly in the right hand, but the third line, the left hand gets it for a little bit. So it's loud. F for loud. Whatever you think loud is. Forte. And the third measure, come down a little bit to moderately loud. And loud again. And when you get to the third line, it's soft. That's the melody. That's the left hand. This has to be very soft. And then on measure 11, you have a crescendo. You're going to go back up to loud, but don't get loud until measure 13. So it's soft. Then we're sort of soft, sort of loud, and now loud. So I'm just kind of figuring that out like a few notes or something at a time, taking little groups, gradually getting louder to span it out. Because if you don't span it out, you'll be loud by measure 12. I'll be... See, I'm loud already, and that's too soon. I don't want to be loud there. I want to be loud on measure 13. Now. And you're ending it loud. That's the dynamics. Get to know well enough you can feel these dynamics. Speed, well, it's a happy piece, but it has to be accurate. So find the hardest part in it. What is it here? Is whatever that is. How fast can you play that accurately? Don't go faster than that. They're showing a little bit of pedal to connect the first two measures together. I don't like it at all. It smears this. You get all that. Ugh. I'm going to recommend you don't pedal this. Don't pedal it at all. You don't need pedal. Do it all with the hands. Yeah. Let's play it together slowly to double check the notes and the rhythms. Not going to do any dynamics. We're just checking notes and rhythms here. So I'll give us 4 counts. Let's just do it slowly together. 1, 2, ready and go. And 1 and 2. And 4 and 3 and 4 and 2. 4 and.